Hi guys, Tracy here. Today I'm going to be talking about ways that you can improve the quality of the audio on your YouTube process videos or whatever kind of scrapbooking process videos you've been making. I'm going to focus on some external mics that you can get, some of the options that are out there. I only have two options to show you guys, but I'm also going to comment about another third option of a microphone that you might want to consider. And I'm also going to show a few of the accessories that I have over there on my mic, on my Blue Yeti mic that I use for narrating. And I just wanted to say at the beginning that all of these audio upgrades are not really required for doing process videos. I think that, if you've been doing process videos and if you're looking for a way to increase the quality of your video, adding an external mic is a really great way to do that, but it's not really necessary. So I don't want this video to give you the impression that you have to go out and spend a whole lot of money on extra upgrades to the equipment that you have. It's really important to keep in mind that you can create process videos with a smartphone and a light, basically a lamp from your house or a window that has some light shining in. So I don't want this to discourage anybody from just using what you have. I just wanted to show people what I'm using because I often get questions about what I use, what gear I use. So the idea here is that I'm just showing you what I use, keeping in mind that I've been doing this since 2009, and so over the years I have tweaked my system and upgraded bit by bit. I find making process videos is a hobby within a hobby, and so I'm always tweaking and trying to figure out how I can make my videos better. Over the years I have added different kinds of upgrades to my setup, and so today I'm just going to talk about the audio stuff, but it's more for me to just show you guys what I've been using, and you can decide for yourself if you're wanting to upgrade and invest some money into this, or if you're just wanting to continue using what you've been using, then that's fine. If you haven't started making process videos yet, I really don't want you to think that you need to get this stuff in order to make process videos. You really, really don't. But if you've been making them for a while and are thinking about ways that you can invest in your setup, I think a good quality mic would be great. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the mics that I have and what you might want to think about when you're deciding to get a microphone. So I have a couple of different sources of sound that I use when I'm recording my videos for YouTube. The first source of sound is the built-in mic that is on my Canon Vixia camcorder, which is that camcorder right now. That's what you're hearing my voice on right this moment. So I am going to do a little selfie for you guys. That's what my camcorder looks like right now. And I am standing right here. Ooh, not very flattering angle, but I'm standing literally, my mouth is like right beside the camera. So these little holes right here are the microphone holes for this camcorder, and so I am literally standing like right beside it. I'm right here and speaking right towards those holes. So whenever I'm doing a video where I'm just talking off the top of my head, like I am right now, and you guys are seeing this shot, and it's not a voiceover narration, I just use the built-in a microphone with my camera. I have thought about trying to figure out a way to use another microphone to increase the quality of that sound, but the sound is really not all that bad. I think it could be improved upon, but I don't have a microphone that has the right kind of a plug to go into my camcorder. This microphone that I have right here is one that requires a power source, so I couldn't plug it into that, and so the different kinds of mics pose different problems because the kinds of mics that I would want to use are condenser mics, and they do require a power source, and my video camera does not serve as a power source, whereas I'll talk about this one in a few minutes when I get to talking about it. So far I have just decided that for the times when I am talking and showing you guys things at the same time that I'm talking, I'm just going to go ahead and use the mic that's built into my camcorder because it's a pretty decent quality. Now the problem with it is that if I were to sit down and talk to you guys, the volume becomes noticeably softer and less quality. Just so that you can get a sense of, relatively speaking, I am way down here. So there's a good, foot and a half, or foot and a half, I guess, between me and the microphone holes in my camcorder. So the quality does decline when I sit down. And then if I'm doing a lot of sitting down and standing up, then the volume gets louder and softer, which is probably not pleasant for you guys to listen to. So I usually try to problem solve around that, and I'm more likely to do a post-production narration when I'm doing a project that involves a lot of sitting and standing and sitting and standing, because otherwise I would have to even that all out, and it's just easier for me to just narrate the whole thing all over again. That's one of my sources of audio, is just the camera that's built right into my Canon Vixia. Let me tell you the model of this. It's a Canon Vixia HF R500. So another source of audio that I rely upon is this Shure, what is it called? The MV5. So this is a really cute, very, very small microphone that I bought for the purpose of connecting to my iPhone when I do my scrap chats. So when I do my scrap chat videos or any face-to-face videos, I put my phone in this stand right here, and this stand right here, which clamps on, and I can move this to different places depending on my needs, but typically it sits right there. Then what I do is I kind of face it like this. I try to get it. There's haze that comes from my lights, which I can't quite figure out how to solve that problem, but I basically sit it pointing this way, and then I sit down, and because this microphone is plugged in, even though I'm quite far away from the camera, you can still hear me quite well, and the quality is quite a bit better than if I didn't have the microphone plugged in. So I'm just going to show you that difference. So this is what it would sound like if I didn't have the microphone plugged in. Whereas if I have my Shure microphone on, then when I'm showing you guys a project, I just make sure that I'm holding the project like this, so that there's nothing in between my face and the microphone. The project is here, the video camera is here, and you guys are able to see and hear everything that I'm trying to show you guys. So that is why I decided to buy an external mic to use for these face-to-face videos. There are a number of different external mics that you can get. I wanted one that was small, and I wanted one that you could connect to a phone pretty easily, and I have an iPhone, and so it had to have the lightning cord, which is this cord right here, so that I could plug it in. One of the selling features for me was that it came with a cord that has the lightning connection, as well as a cord that has the USB connection, which I've never used. This is actually the wrong one, but it came with a cord just like this that has the USB as well, which means that if you wanted to plug it into a computer or a laptop that has a USB port, or I have a dongle for my laptop that I use that would allow me to use this microphone with my little laptop. So that's why I've hung on to this, to use it for that. Now, there is another really, really popular microphone out there that I want to mention if I'm mentioning this one. Probably the best alternative to this would be the Blue Snowball mic. I really wanted the Blue Snowball mic. I wanted it for a couple of reasons. First of all, it is cheaper than this one. So it is between $50 and $60, and this one is $120, so that's quite a bit more. That's Canadian, so I don't know what it is in the States. I really liked the stylized look of the Blue Snowball, and also I already have a Blue microphone. You can see it right there, hanging over by my narration center. And I really like, I tend to be very brand loyal, and if I buy something and like something by one company, I usually don't want to change companies unless if I have a good reason for changing. So why did I not get the blue snowball? Well, because it didn't have this USB, it didn't have this lightning connection, for one thing. The other reason is that it was a little bit bigger than this one, and so I really like how this one does disconnect from its stand. You just unscrew this little ball and the whole thing comes out, and then you can actually attach this to lots of different types of stands using this little threaded hole. Or you could even just sit it down like this on something and point it towards you. So the stand is detachable. I like the stand. I like that you can, I'm just going to reattach it here. I like that you can position it different ways, like you can position it so that it is pointing just straight forward, but for me, because I tend to have it, sometimes I talk overhead, I like to be able to tilt it back like this so that it's pointing almost front, almost upwards. So I really like that. And the size was really important to me because I need to store this someplace where I can remember to use it. Because we all know that I have filmed a lot of scrap chats where I've forgotten to use this. So what I've started to do, so the size is really important because I need to be able to store this microphone right here. I don't have much space for storing things, and so I really wanted to be able to store it there. So I wanted to be able to store it there, but and so what I typically do so that I remember to use it is I always store it with its cord on the iPhone holder, so that every time I go to attach my phone to this, it reminds me, because I can't attach it without taking this off. So when I take this off, it reminds me to plug it in while I'm at it, and then I can go ahead and I usually put the microphone right here when I'm doing a scrap chat. So there are a few features on this that I guess I will explain to you. There are 3 different modes. One is for music, one is for what they call flat, and then one is for speaking. And so there's a little guitar over here for when it's on music mode. Neither of the lights are on when it's on flat. And then the speech bubble light is on when it's on speaking. So I just set it on speaking. I'm not a sound expert, so I don't really know what the difference is. I think it's how much it captures or from what angles it takes in noise. I'm not entirely sure if that's really important to you, if you're a musician or if you're using microphones for a variety of different reasons, then you'll want to research that and take that into consideration. This green light just means that it's on, and so it's nice to know that it's actually on and receiving. And then there's a little volume control right here as well. There's also a headphone jack here, because as long as this is hooked up to your phone, no sound will come out of your phone. So you have to listen. If I wanted to hear myself as I was recording, or if I want, ooh, that's loud. If I would have to use these, I would have to plug my headphones in there. So this Shure microphone is a really easy to use microphone. I highly recommend it, particularly for people who are using Apple devices like the iPhone or an iPad for recording, because this really is easily compatible with the iPhones. I think that if I weren't using iPhones, I would probably go with the blue snowballs. Even though I haven't tried it, I've watched so many reviews of microphones in preparing for buying this one that I feel like I know enough about the snowball to say that I would probably recommend it. I can't recommend it on personal experience, but from what I've read and from what I've heard, I think I would recommend the Snowball for non-Apple users who are looking for a small microphone. Even though it is not quite as small as this, it is a really good microphone and the price point is excellent. So the other microphone that I have is this Blue Yeti microphone, which looks like this. I'm going to show it to you, but I have taken it out of its stand. So this is what it looks like when it's in the stand. And this is the stand. It's like a really heavy weighted stand. It's very heavy duty. And I have taken it out of the stand. For the first year that I had it, it was a full year that I had it. I kept it in the stand on my desk. I'm going to bring you over there right now and show you how I had it set up. So this is the Blue Yeti, the way that I have it set up right now, and I will explain how it's set up and why it's set up this way in a second. What I used to have, it used to live right around here, and then the cord would just kind of go back behind my printer there. And it was really great because when I was narrating, I could just bring it up closer to me and speak right into it. And it's a really great microphone. It, like the other microphone that I just showed you, it has a lot of features that I don't actually use because I really only use it for narrating. I'm not a musician, I don't do interviewing or anything like that, but it has various settings on the back of it, which I will just show you right here. There, so I keep it on this little setting that looks almost like a heart, but it's rounded. And then these different settings mean different things. So this little booklet gives you a rundown of what all the different settings mean. So the stereo setting picks up sound from these two sides as well as from the back, I guess. Stereo setting is good for vocals, choir, and instruments. Cardioid, which is what I use, is good for podcasts, voiceovers, vocals, and instruments. It just picks up sound from the front of the microphone. Then there's omnidirectional that picks up sound from all the different directions. It's good for conference calls, field recordings, and events. Bidirectional is good for interviews because it picks up sound from two different directions, from the front and from the back. I keep mine on cardioid, and then I keep the gain set at, I guess, so that it's pointing straight up and down if the microphone wasn't hung upside down like this. So I have a couple of accessories attached to my Blue Yeti now, and so I will explain what they are. The first is this this screen that fits over and basically comes between my mouth and the microphone head, and what it does is it keeps my P's from sounding too poppy and kind of evens out the sound. It just sounds a little bit nicer, especially when you're saying things like purple patterned paper. It is made by Blue, the same company that makes the microphone itself, so it is designed to work well with this microphone, and it really looks really good with this microphone. That's the main reason that I bought this pop filter instead of another one. I just really liked the look of it. You can get a very inexpensive pop filter that will do the same job. I couldn't resist. Also, I have the Radius 2 shock mount attached to this, and what the shock mount does is it keeps vibrations from going into the microphone from whatever the microphone is attached to. So it basically allows the microphone to float and not pick up on any sounds that are transferred from my desk through the arm and into this. So it suspends it so that those sounds are not going to be transferred into the microphone. So what was happening before I had my microphone suspended like this, it was in its stand right there, and what would happen is while I was narrating, if my leg was vibrating, and sometimes it does that when I get really excited, and the sound would transfer from my desk into the microphone, and you'd pick up this kind of like brrr weird vibrating kind of noise. Also, any time that I was manipulating the controls of my software with the keyboard, it would pick up on the microphone as well. And so that just kind of increases the quality of my recording a little bit. And then I have this, the whole thing is attached to my desk with this boom arm by Rode. And the boom arm, the Rode boom arm can attach to your desk with a clamp like I have, or you can actually have a hole drilled into your surface and it will attach and be there permanent. And I would like to do that, but this desk is a vintage desk and it has a drawer, and I think that if I were to use this, it would interfere with the drawer. I'm not entirely sure. I'm hesitant to put a hole in a vintage desk, so I haven't attached that. So this arm is very helpful for me because it allows me to pull it down here when I'm recording. I just sit in my desk and record like that. I can push it away if I'm finished recording for a little while and pull it back when I want to go back to recording. And then when I'm finished the whole session and I'm not going to record again for a couple of days, I can just move it up like this and it stays up and out of the way quite easily. And I can actually push it back even further than that if I want to. That's usually where it lives when I'm not using it at all. Just so you can see relative to my desk what that looks like. It's way up there, way out of the way. The Blue Yeti is an excellent microphone. It's very popular among podcasters and YouTubers who do voiceovers. And this is it. Amazon.ca is telling me that it retails for $149.99, or maybe a little bit more than that. I don't know. It's always hard to tell with Amazon.ca. It's not always the best price. You can get boom arms for as little as $21.99 if you want, if you don't want a Rode one. So this is the arm that I got. I got the Rode PSA 1 swivel mount studio microphone boom arm. So that's what I have here. So this microphone and the accessories that go with it are really the key component to how I narrate my videos. I find that narration is not only much more enjoyable, but the quality is much more in line with the effort that I put in for my videos, and so I'm very, very pleased with it. The one thing that I will mention to you is that the Radius 2 is essential. I would not recommend that you get the Radius 1 and try to mount the Blue Yeti, because from what I have read and seen on YouTube videos about it, the Radius 1 is just not strong enough to hold the weight of the Blue Yeti, and that is also why I paid a little bit more for the higher quality boom arm as well. I know that you can get boom arms for quite a bit less, and if you're trying to suspend lighter weight microphones, then that might be a good way to go. But I decided to get the Rode because I knew that I was going to be suspending a very large and heavy microphone from it. So I hope that you have found this video helpful. I talked about my microphones and some of the accessories that I use. If you have any suggestions or ideas for other viewers or YouTubers, feel free to leave your experiences with external microphones and accessories and using your phone or webcams or camcorders or whatever you use. Just leave me a message in the comment section below. I appreciate your feedback, and even if it's not something that I can incorporate into my setup, some other viewers might find it really helpful. So feel free to share freely down below in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and have a really great scrappy week.